away.
All right. Okay. How long does it take to be a firefighter? Because it's different, like in like different counties, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
So it took me. I volunteered first. I was a
Alright.
volunteer firefighter for 9 months, and then it took about 6 months going through the testing process to get into the academy, and then the academy was 5 months long.
Alright.
So it was about a year.
A year.
Not volunteer.
Yeah. And then with Santa Fe, you have to have like schooling too, like go to school.
So the Santa Fe County requirement is like high school diploma. All the additional education you have, the training, EMT, associates or bachelor's or whatever, that all works in your favor.
And then when you were growing up, if this what you wanted to do, like you wanted to be a firefighter?
I wanted to be an astronaut. I always wanted to have some kind of service job, helping people. I was almost a Marine. I chose this, and I'm glad I did. You guys?
Do you get like benefits and stuff from there?
Yep, you get good benefits. That's working for the government has some good points.
How much is your salary?
I make $40,000 a year, and I've got health and life and dental and vision.
Are you stationed here in Albuquerque or no?
In Santa Fe.
In Santa Fe? You find it scary or not anymore?
Scary? No. This is scarier for me. Getting up in front of people and talking is scary.
Yeah.
But I'll go into a burning building every day. Yeah, it's nothing to me.
All right. What was like the most like difficult job, like when you were like when you first started as a firefighter, like when you first got out of the fire academy, like your difficult call?
The difficult calls for me have to do with kids usually, because it's not just firefighting. I also do medical service. So yeah, kids, traffic accidents, and you have to see a lot of unpleasant things.
Yeah.
But it's worth it when you get to make a difference, especially in a kid's life.
Hey, Mister, do you ever feel like a hero?
I feel like a hero. I tell you, the one time I didn't have really anything to do with fighting a fire or anything like that. We were at the grocery store, like me and my partner, and we're in our fire uniforms and whatnot, and we're going into the store, and we see this, I don't know, 3-4-year-old kid running loose in the parking lot, and he's screaming, and he's like, it's obvious that he's lost from his mom, right? And so we call him over to us. We say, hey, buddy, come over here. And he looks and he sees us, and immediately he knows that we're firemen, and he knows that we're good guys, and he just comes right over. And he's like, everything's okay. That's the one time I felt like it.
Did you ever have to like volunteer like out of here, like out of New Mexico, like for anything, like for like China, no?
And I'm on a structural engine company, so I don't typically go on wildfires.
But you don't go like on fires like out like in the forest or anything like that.
Just around close to town.
And you know how there's fires in the all around town and stuff, like the big fires in the forest. Do you put them out or?
I usually don't go on the big forest fires. We have a special team that's dedicated for that.
And when you were trying to become this job, did you ever think about like quitting, like if it got like too difficult for you, or did you just stick with it? Like
I thought about quitting every day in the academy. There's people yelling at you, and you're doing push-ups and running, and it's tough. But, that experience taught me that despite all of that, I can push through, and I can do pretty much anything except my mind to. That's really what I got out of the academy. Aside from all the technical training, just really good personal development, knowing that I can make it through.
Do you live there, like on the station, or?
So when I go to work, I am here for 48 hours. So I live at the station for 2 hours.
How many days out of the week do you stay?
So I'm on for 2 days and then I'm off for 4. And it goes like that forever. Go to work 2 days and off for 4 days. Go to work 2 days and off for 5 days. It can be a little tough sometimes, because you have to wake up in the middle of the night for calls and you lose some sleep.
Yeah.
Then you got 4 days off, which is really nice.
Yeah.
Are like all like counties like different from like all firefighting counties different from like each county, like like this, like Albuquerque will have like their own thing and stuff like that.
So yeah, each like even the city of Santa Fe has a separate department. The county has a separate department.
Alright.
Albuquerque, Bernalillo County.
Yeah.
And they've all got their own individual academies and training processes.
Yeah.
Have another question.
Okay, if you would ever want to be like, well, if you would ever like, if you could ever go back like to saying like to be a firefighter, where would you like to like be like a firefighter at? Like still in Santa Fe, or would you come like to Albuquerque or a different state?
In the beginning of my career, in the first couple of years, when I was still a little younger, and I was like real go get 'em.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in a big city like New York or Chicago or something. But now I'm pretty happy with the thing.
Alright.
How much money for this job?
In my current job, I'm actually a volunteer, so I make very little money. I make about $12,000 over 2 months because I'm not paid. So I get a housing allowance, which is supposed to pay for my housing, and then I'm also on food stamps to cover my food. And then, but a typical person who would do my job that's not a volunteer would make between $30,000 and $40,000 a year. And I work for the University of New Mexico, so you get some pretty sick benefits. So you like full health, dental, all that good stuff. But you also get 8 credits of tuition paid for each semester. So 8 credits is almost a full-time student. So if you were trying to go get your first degree, so your first 4-year degree, that's going to be like 128 credits. So you can get that knocked out in, I don't know, 16 times 5, like 5 years. So you could get a degree for free working for the university in 5 years. So that's the long version of how much I make. How much do you make?
Nada.
Nada, yeah. How much do you make? Nada. So what do you wanna do when you grow up? How do you wanna make your money?
Sell CDs, my albums.
Yeah. You wanna be a rapper? Cool. How you doing?
Good.
There's a lot of math involved in music. Did you know that? Like in beats. You didn't know that? It's like there's actually, where I went to school, there's a whole degree in music engineering. So you learn how to create music and how to produce and all that good stuff. In one of my math classes,
Go to that school.
in one of my math classes, one of my professors brought in a guitar because we were learning about waves. And so he would hold his fingers in different places of the guitar and show us how he was changing the waves and how he was changing the frequency and all that good stuff. Does that make sense?
So, were you gonna show us what happens when 2 atoms come together?
I cannot show you what happens when 2 atoms come together, but
Explain it.
have you talked to Edward yet?
No, I don't think so.
He's that guy that ordered the store.
Oh, yeah.
Did he show you a yellow box?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's a radiation detector. That's what I brought last time, but I decided he could talk about it this time. But so did you hear about the incident that happened in Japan with the earthquake and
Oh,
the
yeah.
tsunami and all that good stuff? Mm-hmm. So what happened with that is there was a a nuclear power plant, and some of the radiation, which is like energy. So if you look at this light, you see the light, but you don't see any particles, right? So it's like kind of the same thing with radiation. So it's this energy, and this energy escaped out of the plant. And so what they did is they took that box that Edward had, that yellow box, and they would go carry that around, and it would beep if there was dangerous levels of that energy that got out. Does that make sense? Kind of like big concepts.
So, like where the earthquake happened, they went around with that box, that exact box?
Probably not that exact box, that's pretty old, but something that does a lot, something very similar to that.
So they went around and looking for radiation?
So they would point it at you, they would point it at plants, they would point it at the ground, they would point it at the air. And if it beeped at them, they would know it was dangerous.
So if it beeped at me, I'll be dangerous?
No. You would not be dangerous. You're actually pretty radioactive. So you and I are both radioactive. We have potassium in us, which is the same thing that's in a banana. So a banana is also radioactive.
So
so you don't have enough radiation in you to be dangerous.
But what is it possible to get that much radiation in you?
It is.
But would you die?
No, not necessarily. So what I did after I graduated college is I treated cancer, and the way you do that is by sending an atom at your body part where the cancer is to kill the cancer. And so
It kills it? So they have a cure for cancer now?
no, because it can come back, but it definitely damages it and helps it to not keep growing as fast as it was.
So it like helps you live longer?
Exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So they kind of have a cure for cancer.
Yeah. So if you think about something like breast cancer, some kinds of breast cancer, they'll consider that they can cure you because you will never get it back.
What about actual cancer?
What do you mean actual cancer?
Like, ain't there different breast cancer than like cancer?
There's all different types of cancer. So it can be in your lung, it can be in your breast, it can be in your finger. You heard of getting skin cancer from the sun? It's like a lot of people will get skin cancer under their fingernails because you can't put sunscreen on under your fingernails. So you gotta watch that.
How can you? So anybody can get it?
Yeah, anybody can get it.
How do you know you have skin cancer?
You check your fingernails for moles or for little spots, and
What kind of little spots?
they just look like a freckle. And not all of them are gonna be bad.
Like black? Like a color?
Not like if you smash your finger
Like
in
what
the
are
door.
those like white spots?
Yeah, it looks like you smashed your finger in the door. That's okay.
Yeah.
But so you asked me if you could ever have a person have a dangerous level of radioactive stuff in them. One of the ways they treat cancer sometimes is to put something inside your body that is releasing radiation. So if you have cancer in your eye, they'll put this cage in your eye.
So that means cancer is like radiation?
Say that again?
Cancer is like radiation?
No. Cancer is cells that are growing at a bad rate. Bad cells.
Oh, bad cells?
So they'll put like a cage in your eye that has this like metal in it that's releasing radiation into your eye to kill the cancer in your eye. And so sometimes when you go get a treatment, they'll tell you don't sleep next to anybody because that thing in your eye
Okay, transfer?
is hitting you. If I have radiation in my eye to kill my cancer, it's gonna hit you, and we don't want it to do that. So
So like just by looking at each other, it's hitting my eyes?
yeah, if I had it in my eye, but I don't. But yeah.
Wow.
There's some really
so,
intense
like,
questions. We got
so,
really
like-
deep here.
So like basically you're like Medusa, you can't look at nobody.
Yeah, that's a good example. You should be a doctor.
Turn somebody into stone.
You could talk to patients really well.
Should be a doctor.
Yeah.
Nah, she be a chef.
There's a lot of science involved in being a chef. Did you know that? There's a lot of chemistry. Have you heard of chemistry?
Yeah.
Like mixing substances and figuring out what that is? Being a
Yeah.
chef, there's
Yeah. Like I don't know why I just like mixing stuff and like it'll come out good. Like I'll go to the store and buy all kinds of Mexican candy. I just start mixing everything together and it'll taste bomb.
yeah.
And you just eat it.
You're a scientist, man. You're a scientist.